Okay, hey folks, welcome back to Bro Do It Yourself. It is Tuesday, February the 6th, about a little after 2 p.m. And I'm staying in this garage. We're going to do another unboxing today. And what I want to do is kind of reiterate and go over the same kind of story I had yesterday. I did an unboxing on a Braun. Um, and I ended up taking those lights back, the Braun 2000 lumen. I also discovered the difference between lumen and Kelvin. So now I'm a little more updated. I went and did some research on that and understand, and we'll get into that more of that. But like I said yesterday, my father and I, but a lot of, he's the one that set this garage up while I was traipsing around the country and doing all kinds of stuff. Um, he moved into this place, I think, in the early 80s. This place was built in 76, and I remember Ed had it, and then Dad bought it off Ed, and Ed went out to California. So Dad was here from the early 80s, and he set this garage up for himself. And during the early 80s, you didn't have LEDs, and you had the fluorescent, the long 4-foot tubes. You had that technology, but they didn't have any LEDs. And what we had were like incandescent bulbs that were industrial types, and then you had the halogens coming later. Dad put a halogen here, and I'll show you. He had it up here. Okay, and this thing, he had it. I'm not going to put it back in, just in the sake of time, but he had it, so you could lock it up here. And this is a 500 watt halogen, and you had an 8-foot rail. You could slide this thing on. You could put wherever you needed it, because we were doing a lot of auto repairs in this place, not just engine bay work, but the whole stinking mess. Didn't matter if it was transmissions, Corvettes, Eldorados, Coupe de Villes, and then all my stuff, the Trans Ams, and just about everything you can imagine. We did it in here in this little one-car garage. But I am 6'4", and this is probably an 8-foot ceiling. And you would have this light pointed down, and you'd be working on it if you were standing in front of the car, and you could feel that 500 watts. It was like getting a sunburn. And, but you just sucked it up and dealt with it because we needed the light. After I got done installing these vapor-tight lights, I thought, you know what, because I really wanted to utilize this, and I also wasn't forward thinking enough to understand that I can use these for my drop lamps. I've got a retractable lamp that I'm going to use. It hangs off this hook, and I'll do another breakdown on that later because I forgot where to put it. But right now we want to deal with the replacement of this halogen on this slide here. And yesterday I did the Braun 2000. Today we're going to unbox the Husky 3500, which is what I really wanted to get. I looked at Snap-on and Fit and just about DeWalt. I just looked at a bunch of them. I've got a couple of what were those other ones? The other HDX, HXD, I can't remember. I've got them in the house. I think that they were 1200 watt or 1200 lumen. Anyway, the bronze we did were 2000 lumen, and I mean, if I had to settle for a light source for under the bonnet or in an engine bay, I would probably be okay with those, but I wasn't really okay with them. By the time I got them up, I thought, you know what, the whole time I had been struggling with wanting to get the 3500, because at work we've got the 5000 lumens, we've got the tree, and I know what these Huskies are about. I mean, they're Chinese, of course, everything's from China, but this 3500, after doing the research and comparative with Milwaukee's and all that stuff, is I like this. I like this now. A lot of people are criticizing them for being too hot and just not lasting long, and I don't know. We're just going to see how it works. But right here, this is the Husky 3500 lumen LED work light. It says it's cool to the touch, integrated LED bulb, which means you're not changing that. Once it takes a crap, it's over. Never needs replacing because you can't replace them. I mean, you know, I can't imagine. Suitable for wet locations, sealed on-off switch, a 5-foot cord, grounded plug. This is what I like. I'll show it to you. Is the USB port and outlet. This is made to fit on that stand like the ones we've got at work. The ones we've got at work have got a, you can see how that bottom goes onto the pedestal, which stands up. The way we have it work has got a T out. It has the two great big, they're a little bit bigger than these for the 5000 lumen. It says the molded handle for mobility. What that really is just a reach around. There's no handle per se. And the bracket hole for the wing nuts. So what this is really alluding to is, if you can see this picture here, we'll get into it. That is has a locking feature on the pedestal that locks. That little red tab there is just a little lever that pulls the half washer and locks that in place. So we're not going to have to deal with any of that. So let's get in. Let's dig into this. It's got a 3-year warranty. Here is what I learned. After yesterday, I felt so ridiculous, and it's because the driver on these lights gave you a choice between 4, 5, and 6, what they called 1000 lumen. And I'm 99.9% sure that if I pull this driver out right now and this one is damaged, that it doesn't say 4, 5, or 6,000 K. If it does, I'll eat my hat. But that is the difference. These are, right now they're set at 5,000. And I don't know, I'd have to get back into the paperwork, but these are not 5,000, even all the way up there. There's no way in the world that these are 5,000 lumen. I can't imagine it. What they are 5,000 Kelvin, and that is what this little indicator here is. So you see the light output for this light is 3,500 lumens, only 43 watts. Lumens per watt is 81.4, so that's a math. But the color, I don't know what this color accuracy is either. But the light appearance, these are your Kelvin measurements. So your 2700 and actually the 4000, see, I don't know how to read that, because on the drivers on these VaporTights, that 4000 setting is as yellow as you can get, and that 6000 setting is as blue as you can get. And the 5000 setting that I have these lights set on are nature's daylight. They are in the white, but it's called 4000K here. So I guess you just got to dig into that and kind of get your mind wrapped around that lumens are different from Kelvin. The Kelvin is the temperature reading, the feeling of comfort for your eye. So let's dig into this. Enough of the jibber jabber. It's really simple. You got your instructions, and these are pretty sparse. I mean, you know, you got one bolt that you hook up, which is the one on the bottom. Although it does tell you the rate of current here, which is 0.45 amps. And the rated power is 43 watts. So, and it gives you weight and all this stuff. The rest of this got a 5-foot cord, which I'm going to tear off, because I've got a good suspicion that I'm going to be using these lamps instead of the one. And then the feature I really enjoy is the USB port and the 3-prong 120 volt receptacle that's built into this. The rest of this is crap. So it's about as straightforward as it gets. Today I won't struggle with trying to figure out how to put it together, because I learned my lesson yesterday. Now they have this thing in upside down, this bolt. So, and that's because you're not putting it on a pedestal. If I was putting it on a pedestal instead of this little stand, I would reverse this. I would put this down like this, and then put this red wing nut on here. And that way it would go into the pedestal, which would lock into this this grooved washer. Half washer would go in on the lever. Instead, what's happening is they're using this feature to screw into this. I think that's the way they're doing it. No, there's no way to do that, is there? Because it's just not long enough. You got to go up like it's going to go in. Matter of fact, I remember seeing that in there now. But in any event, that is going to be a useless feature for us and for you if you're planning on just using it as a light fixture on a table or on the floor, or just sitting on a shelf or on a stand. It's made to be utilized just for the lack of consistency with the parts. So you can see it. That tightened up pretty quick. You can tell I haven't messed with this too much, so I wonder what is the hold up there, because I have no washers. I mean, I could, for all intents and purposes, I don't know how that's going. Let's see here. I guess that's why you need to read the instructions. And it goes all the way down, so that's got a square on the bottom. Is that hole squared? Maybe that was my issue. No, but it's oblong. Okay. So there is a way to... Yep. See, that's locked in there now. Let's see. This is my first time at trying this on a... You would think I've never assembled anything in my life. I've been building jet engines for 46 years. And I act like I don't know left from right. Anyway, I guess that's as good as it gets if you're not using a pedestal. So let's plug this baby in, because I have not seen Howlite 3500 lumens are. Okay. Well, I gotta be honest with you. It doesn't seem like it's that much brighter than the 2000. I'll turn it off. I mean, is it? I guess it is. I don't know. Let's see. I have the other one already prepared here, ready to go. Without the feet. Kind of like the same way I did with the Braun. But being new to unboxing, let's just see if I'm going to be happy with these. I may be taking these back, but I don't think that I'd want to. Oh no, that's better. And what I'm going to do is, in a minute, let me just get it. Yeah. No, I am well happy with this. Yesterday I was trying to convince myself, but not really. But kind of, but not really. But today I'm convinced that these are going to do what I want them to do. So let's take a little pause here, and then we'll be back in a minute. So now, believe me when I tell you, I am not happy with this, but I am very happy with this. This clearance is better than I had with the Bronze. It's perfect. I can still adjust them down more. And my wife brought up a good point. You know, with all this other light, it's going to be very rare that I'm going to need this. It'll probably help more when I'm welding. But then again, I've got enough light. I'm still so focused on the way it is when you get dark inside of your engine bay. And, you know, we used to only have this kind of thing here. So you'd have that and a trouble lamp and you know, look at that. I mean, that's as good as it got. We were happy with that. Now we've got a whole corral full of another Braun product. These with a magnetic base. You can put them anywhere. You can put them down in your car and you've got plenty. And it's got a flashlight on the end, and you know, it's got three settings, and I mean, you know, it's just as good as it gets. So well, I guess what I'm getting at is that I think I'm good with lights. These, I've already ordered a couple of 10-foot coiled cords, and I am going to put the service back here. I can't decide whether I'm going to move this one down or up and put the service here. I probably will. I've got another box. Maybe I'll put it right here and have the same type of switch as this and a receptacle and put them right here. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. It's not going to take much. I mean, I'm still going to have the same kind of electric. All I have to do is maybe move that up. It won't be that big of a change. I'll just have this one right above the other quadruplex. But in any event, as far as the Brauns go, the thing I really like about these, and here are your waterproof switches. Oh, yeah, this is going away. I'm going to save this outlet setup for these 15 amp service. But I think that is probably just the right amount of light without actually talking myself into it. With this, can we turn these lights off? To be on the err on the side of caution, I think I'm overthinking a lot of these processes, but I think that's as good as it gets. So I think what I'll do is once I run the electric, I will run it from back here. Yeah, I still like that idea. I think that I want to run it from back here. I'll have the either one or two. I'm thinking about just tapping this one into this one, or maybe joining them together. In any event, I've got two of those coiled 10 foots, but I think I might be able to get away. The problem is they're 16.3, so I'll have to kick that around. But I like these lights. I like the 3-prong and the USB. Let me put this here. Let me turn these off so they don't blind you. So right here, let me turn these back. You can see this 3-prong plugged in the USB port. I like that. It gives me another access. I mean, you know, we're going to have 15 amp all over the place. So anyway, I think we're going to stick with these. But I got to be honest with you, and I guess I'll do it tomorrow. I've got the HDS. I was just going to take them right back to Home Depot. The HXD. I think these are 1,000 lumen. But after seeing the 2,000 and 3,500, just for a couple of bucks more. How much were these things? I can't even remember now. I think they were $49 a piece. Matter of fact, I've got the receipt right here. So I paid, what was it, 60 bucks for those two yesterday, and then these are 95, almost 96 bucks. So for 15 bucks a piece more, you get the USB and the 3-prong outlet and the watertight switch, which isn't enough to write home to Mom about, but that's just that's the way the game goes, you know. This depends on which one. I like this clearance here better. I like the utility. Being able to go back and forth with these, and like I say, once I get this all dialed in with the other chords, I think it's going to work out just fine. So I know we got extra long on this video. I didn't mean to do that. I'm not really that well versed in unboxing, but I think it's a toss up as far as what they're worth. You know, I don't know, because you can get for another $10. I think you can get 5,000 lumen, but you're not going to get the USB. You're not going to get the 120 volt 3-prong. The problem I've got right now talking about is, like, I don't want to go that route because 5,000 is going to be another 2 inches square. So I could make them fit, but you know, I'm thinking we've got just about as much light as we would ever need for anything. And if we ever need any more, then I've got the magnetic base. I've got more housing upstairs, and we've got 15-inch service, and I like this. I like the way this is set up. I'm going to make sure these go away. We're not going to have that kind of a sketchy looking thing out there. I'll have it all dialed in, and the next time you see it, I'll have it fixed up so that everybody's going to be happy, maybe even impressed. So we're looking for quality here, not a quantity of likes or views or anything. But I like the idea of doing this. This are your handles right here. That's what I'm saying. Those handles I had yesterday were really substantial. So I guess that's about it. Thank you to my wife for taking time out of her day to help us out and to do a little bit of filming for me. And we'll get back to you probably tomorrow. I don't know. I got to work tonight. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. So thanks for coming back. We'll see you all later.